I bought him a device that when he goes into the sugar house, he can push a button and it times him, like the time he spends in the sugar house, it would time him. I was like, we've got to keep track of how much time you're really putting in here. I was like, and it's just like,
I refuse
he didn't
to use it. It's just gonna make me sad.
I'm Molly Gleason.
I'm Adam Webster.
We live here in Danville. We have our small sugar house that we started in 2014.
2014, we were in the driveway at that point, right?
Right. Yeah, we
So
actually did start. We started in the kitchen.
Yeah, in the kitchen and in the driveway with 20. I don't know. The first year was probably 25 or 30 taps, but then the sugar house we built in.
I think we built the sugar house in 2017.
Yep.
And got the tubing around that time.
Right. And currently tap between 250 and 300 trees is where we're at now.
2 years ago, probably in 2020, when there was that big boom online with COVID and the pandemic and people being at home, we saw more and more people buying our syrup products. And I just thought, I had seen, I'm trying to think where I first saw the sugar or tried it. And I was like, oh, I think this could be something that for home cooks and bakers that we could really start to make and possibly sell in a greater quantity. And so I tried lots of batches at home, which were unsuccessful. Any sugar maker who's made it can say that. It's really tricky with the temperature and how long you stir it for, and making sure that the sugar isn't too moist or too dry. And so it does take a lot to kind of perfect how you do it. So I got that down, and I had a customer who wanted to send me a sample for a business that she works for to buy a big order, and they loved it. And so I kind of just started on this road of like thinking of business to business and how could we grow this side, because we were limited with the syrup with the number of trees that we tapped. And that's where I really thought we could, again, purchase from other sugar makers and support them in a way that we can get the sugar out of the state of Vermont and find another venue for sugar makers to kind of sell their syrup while we can, make a new product that people seem to really love. Maple syrup, it really didn't start as the syrup. It started as a sugar, and it would be in blocks that people would shave off because it stored better than a syrup did. And I find that too. I mean, the sugar can last 2 years plus in a good container. So I think the fact that we're getting back to the roots of this area, that we have a product that has kind of circled back to that, is neat too, to the history of the area, definitely. But that actually was another thing about the sugar that was nice, is packaging wise, we sell our syrup in glass, and thinking about shipping costs and breaking, and so the sugar, I feel like there is more, you can package it differently in the bags, and you're not worried about the shipping piece as much, which has been nice on my end when I'm trying to package it all up. So that's been another advantage there too.
From a syrup standpoint, I mean, we're definitely still a hobby operation, and that's kind of where we like to be. I mean, it's, in terms of sharing it with the family and sharing it with our friends, it still, is as much a social outlet for us as it is about, purely making syrup. So that's been kind of a fit for us. So
staying on the smaller side and using some of the traditional sugaring methods, but also looking at how can we modernize in a way that feels right with how we're doing this. And it is when there's something new that comes along, or we hear about something and it's like, oh, we could cut back our time by half, or we're always balancing, right, what do we invest in, what feels right for the business, or like Adam said, what we're doing as a family. And I think that's why the sugar has been nice, because we can support other sugar makers and still keep it wood fired and still make kind of the small sugar making values that we have grow bigger, and be able to still make more product without feeling like we're going against what we really built this sugar making operation on and our hobby on in the business.
We've had, we have a 2x6 evaporator that we've, got it through Goodrich's, and of course they're a dealer, but Leader's a name that we've known forever. I mean, being around sugaring, at friend's house, or, that's a name growing up in Vermont that I've been aware of for a long time. And and been really happy with the quality of it as advertised. I mean, I think in seeing other people's operations and other units, you kind of, there's just things that you like about ours, and that, and you can see the quality difference in it, and it's been great.
And we have the uninsulated door on our evaporator, so when we know when the arch is really hot, you see that red come through, and there's like the sugar man on the front door, which it's like, oh, sugar man's hot. We've reached it's like once every season where it's just like bright red, and yeah, so that's one thing we've talked about. It's like, we should get an insulated arch, and that would help, with some of the efficiency. But then it's also, we like sitting by the warm fire, and there's aspects of the, the kind of feel in the sugar house that we like with what we've got set
and
up.
She doesn't
in
care
there.
how long it takes me out there. What I love about sugaring is what Molly talked about before, and just having an avenue of being with the family out there, that in a time of year where it's getting to be difficult to be outside. It forces the issue of being outside when the weather is still cold, and forces into taking advantage when the weather is starting to warm up. It's a guaranteed way of being out and taking advantage of those sunny days, and that my work, everything is very well planned out, and I like that this is not. It kind of like, well, I guess I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out when I figure it out, is kind of, which I enjoy that side of it.
Yeah, I think what I love about Maple is that, similar to what Adam said, spending time as a family, but also it's been the figuring it out piece, and especially with the sugar and every product that we make and the science behind it. It's like we've had to think and work together as a couple and as a family, and so I think having that something to work towards, and we've had our challenges, but it's just been something that we're outside, it's sustainable, it feels like good to be doing something that's a good product, that I feel like it's you're in the woods and you're not cutting down trees to make sugar cane. It's one of the last wild harvested foods that we have, so it's just, I think that's like a nice to be a part of that we're in the woods with birds and the animals, and it's that our kids get to experience that is a really special thing about living here. So yeah, I'm glad about that.